In order to operate from inside the cab, of course, you turn the key on the chassis ignition, and at that point the console initializes. When the console initializes, you will see everything that has to do with the sweeper on the screen here, and of course you're going to see the blue lights on the console front. The blue lights means that actually the console communicates with the controller that is behind the cab. Okay, now therefore when the blue lights come on, that is a good communication with the controller. Now, in order of course to do any kind of operation, what we'll do is we're going to start the back engine. Now what we see here of course is what kind of RPMs the engine is running. Where is the hopper load? If you have any load inside the hopper at this point, you got like 22%. And then of course we have the hydraulic temperature at 77 degrees. We have the engine temperature at 82 degrees. And of course 53 psi on the oil pressure on the engine. All these of course it is the analog readings that you get from the engine and the hydraulics itself. The other thing of course is that we have a 90%, 91% of water level on the water tank. And then of course we do have 82% when it comes to the depth tank. Okay. Now, in order of course to start the hydraulic any hydraulic functions, the first thing we do is push standby. Anytime that you push standby, of course, you initiate or enable all the hydraulic functions. Now, to run the left gutter broom, all you have to do, of course, is push the broom to the down position. The broom will go down and actually will start spinning, and therefore that you'll see right here what kind of RPMs the broom is running. So, the other thing, of course, is that you can actually see here it tells you that this is the left GO. The broom is actually going to be coming in and out. And also the tilt. The left gutter broom tilt out. That is actually going to tilt the broom out, and then of course back in. Tilt out, tilt in. Now pushing the switch to the up position, the broom will come all the way up and stow. Now the other thing of course here is you have the control for the engine RPMs. The top switch is going to increase the RPMs on the engine, and that is idling down. Another very useful switch is the SIR. The SIR switch, when it illuminates to a green light, that means that when you put it in reverse, the brooms will come up, but the sweeping head will come down, and then you can actually sweep in reverse at that point. When there is no green light, anytime that you put in reverse or push standby, then the brooms and the sweeping head will come up and the engine RPMs will slow down to idle. Now on the right hand side, of course, pushing the right side broom down, that will drop the right broom down, and actually the broom will start spinning. The GO, bring it all the way in. and then all the way out. And the tilt, of course, right Gutterbroom tilt out, right Gutterbroom tilt in. Now, of course, as you can see here, you can change the speed of the broom. We're at 90% right now, down to 70% now. The same thing, of course, on the other side of the broom. Now, the brooms that should be spinning probably around 80 to 85%. And of course, they are changing 5% at a time. And of course, lift the broom all the way up. Now, when you lift the broom up, you have to hold the switch to the up position before you let go. The next function that we're going to demonstrate, of course, is the sweeping head down. As you can see, as you can see, right over here, you can see that the sweeping head is down. And then, of course, at the end of the sweeping path that you had to clean up, when you're ready to lift the sweeping head up, all you got to do, lift the sweeping head up. The next function that we're going to demonstrate is the up and down with a hopper. So the hopper and the rear door, they are controlled by the joystick that it is on the top of the console here. So going up with the joystick, when the hopper is going up, you have a hopper shaker that it comes on automatically. Now, if you don't want that, you can actually push one of the arrows, and actually that will shut the shaker, the hopper shaker down. The other thing, of course, here is it tells you that the hopper is actually going up. It's on the up position. Now the hopper is all the way up, and you have a sensor there that alerts the operator that the hopper is up. Okay. Now, pushing down the joystick, the hopper will come down all the way, as long as you keep the joystick switch on the way down. When the hopper is all the way down, of course, the alarm will go off and alerts the operator the hopper is all the way down and he is good to go. Now, at the same time, of course, the last part is going to be the rear door. So the next part, of course, is going to be the dump site. Of course, you get to the dump site, you're going, when you're ready to dump the debris that it's in the hopper, you can go ahead and open the door. Opening the door, you can go to the right with the joystick. The door will open. Then you go, and of course, when the door opens, it still alerts the operator that the door is open. Then you go up with the hopper. And of course, that will discharge all the debris from inside the hopper. So once this is all done, of course, then the next step is to bring the hopper down. and close the door. This is the auxiliary hydraulic pump on the A-series sweepers. Now what this pump does is actually it's an emergency pump. So if for some reason the engine fails in the field, you can use the auxiliary hydraulic pump to lift the brooms and lift the head off the ground. So therefore you can actually bring the machine back to the shop for any further troubleshooting. Now what we see here, of course, is we have two hoses that actually go to each one of the manifolds, the front and the rear manifold, and they pressurize the two manifolds. We have another hose that is actually supplying hydraulic oil from the hydraulic tank to the pump, and then there is another hose that actually returns it back into the tank. Now we have a battery cable come directly from the battery that powers up the starter solenoid on the pump, and then of course we got we have the exciter wire here, and then the directional solenoid on the side of the pump. Now this pump, of course, is actually not supposed to be used all the time, simply because the pump uses a lot of amperes, so therefore it's getting very hot. So if it's being used quite too much, then of course that pump is actually going to overheat and get damaged.